I'm Phil Richards for Juno Lighting Group, and today we're going to talk about retrofit recessed LED products. No other lighting technology in history has ever really excited the imagination of just ordinary people the way LED has. If you look at compact fluorescent, that we've been selling for maybe the last 10 or 15 years. People sort of accepted that begrudgingly because they knew it was an old technology and already had a kind of a stereotype about that as being something that's, that's used in factories and office buildings and that type of thing. But LED is new and it's exciting. Juno's Generation 3 retrofit kit is, of course, a spin-off on Generation 3 permanent mount fixture. And we kind of went through, backing up just a little bit, we kind of went through a learning curve with this technology, just like everybody does. And we started out with a permanently installed recessed housing, and it consisted of a board and a driver. Driver is your current regulating device that might be analogous to a ballast or a transformer, but for LEDs we call them a driver. And it's the driver, and then the board, and then an optical element. Okay, so this right away seemed like it was the differentiator because we put that over that, and hey, it kind of looks like a regular lamp now. We give a choice of Kelvin temperatures, 2700, 3000, 3500, 4100, the number denoting the quality of the whiteness, the higher number being a cooler quality of color, the lower number being a little closer to incandescent or halogen that you might use in a typical residential home. And then also, what is probably more perceivable is the actual physical appearance of the product in application. Right? What does it actually look like up there on the ceiling? Here you see your very traditional white baffle, but we also offer other choices, and a satin white, a black, if you want to obscure the source of the light. This is, by the way, great for home theater. A haze finish, which lends itself exceptionally well to a lot of the brushed stainless and aluminum finishes that we see in today's residential kitchens. And then also a wheat haze, kind of taking off from that point to give you a warmer look, a warmer color. Maybe instead of brushed stainless, the hardware trim is a bronze finish, which has been very popular lately. Your ability to achieve the changes in the physical appearance of the product is as easy as popping that trim piece out from the back and snapping a new one in. So your decision is not irrevocable. If you go through and paint your kitchen and buy new cabinets, you can also refit your lighting to be more consistent with whatever look that you'd like to have. In terms of installation, you could probably not do anything easier than they've already done. I mean, this goes in just as easily as a recessed trim. So if you're a homeowner and you've ever had to take one out in order to change a lamp, or if you've ever installed one of these, you can see there's usually some kind of a spring arrangement. We use what we call the torsion springs, which is a very popular attachment mechanism. And what you would do is that original socket that the lamp would screw in receives this part with that little orange attachment on there. So screw that all the way in. And while that's hanging down, you're going to snap that retrofit kit right on there, and then squeeze those springs together in between those little C-clamps in there and push it all the way up. This will all sit off to the side like that. Well, let's talk a little bit about how we get the light to go where we want it to go. And again, rather than some light sources which just only do one thing, the chip on board has really given us the option of being able to control exactly where the light goes. So if we look at this board that came out a few years ago, you can see you've got that series of packages, and that gives you only one kind of lighting distribution. And by that I kind of mean a beam spread. Does the light come down very wide, or is it more narrow for task lighting, or do I want to aim it at a picture on the wall, or what have you? If you have only one beam spread, then the fixture will only do one thing. Okay, so when we moved from that to the chip on board, you can see in this adjustable eyeball version of the Retrofit product, what we did was we created a series of different optical elements that literally shape the beam of light. And what makes that possible is reducing the actual physical size of the origin of the light. So I can take this guy off, which gives me about a 55-degree beam spread, and put this guy on there with a little simple twist lock there, and this will give me about a 10-degree. So if I want to be able to put a highlight on that statue over in the corner, or the vase of flowers, or the picture on the wall, this is going to be more appropriate. And it's as easy as doing what you just saw me do when changing out that optical element. When we talk about life of an LED, it's a completely different ballgame. Our conventional light sources usually top out at about 20,000 hours, and that would be something that might be used for a parking lot. The ordinary incandescent lamps that you and I use in our homes might last 2,000 hours, 3,000 hours, maybe up to 6,000 or 7,000 hours if they're dimmed. The LEDs that we use today are typically rated for about 50,000 hours. And 50,000 hours means 5.5 years of continuous burning, or 11 years of 12-hour days. So if you're a residential customer, you can pretty much count on the fact that lamp will still be burning before you move out of your home. With regards to dimming, anyone who's been around the block a few times knows that dimming an LED product is not just as simple as screwing a lamp into a socket and installing a dimmer on the wall and spinning the knob and the light ramps up and down. Okay, we're all used to that, and we've been spoiled by incandescent. I think folks that have worked in the commercial world know that there's a little bit more to it when you get into things like fluorescent and metal halide, and LED is essentially the same way. We have to be a little bit more careful about the manufacturer's specifications as to which dimmers will actually work. And Juno assumes that responsibility by doing all of your homework for you. It's on a sheet that you could print out off the website for each individual product that shows what dimmers the product has been tested with, which ones work, which ones are recommended, what percentage dimming you get. Unlike incandescent, which will basically take you right down to nothing, LEDs will usually drop out at 3 or 4 or 5%. We have some great examples here at the Juno facility called our Idea Lab in Des Plaines, Illinois, where we can actually show you very clearly the difference between dimming an incandescent lamp and an LED lamp. Now, you notice right away that when you dim the LED lamp, the color doesn't change. It's something that we've all grown very used to, and as you dim that light source down, it becomes very, very warm, like a candle. And that's the nature of incandescent or halogen lighting. But with an LED, as we dim them down, they get dimmer, but the color will stay the same. So this can be very incongruous in an environment where we've got a whole room full of dimmed incandescent and an LED that sticks out like a sore thumb because it doesn't. The thing that we've done to overcome that is we've come up with a solution called Warm Dim. And Warm Dim is a product that addresses that issue perfectly. And I think, although it doesn't really dim the same as incandescent, from a visual point of view, it certainly satisfies the requirements. Let's take a look at conventional incandescent dimming, LED dimming, and LED Warm Dim. So here we are going to dim an incandescent lamp source, and what you're going to notice is, of course, it dims as you ramp it down, and it also grows warmer. As we dim this LED source, it dims, of course, just like the incandescent, but it does not change color as we ramp it down. Here we are looking at the Warm Dim LED product, and as we ramp it down, it dims, of course, but simultaneously it warms. Thank you for your interest in Juno Retrofit recessed LED products. These are available in downlight and eyeball trim modules, 600 and 900 lumen and warm dim options, 6 downlight trim inserts to match any decor, and 3 field replaceable optics for the adjustable eyeball trim. I'm Phil Richards for Juno Lighting Group, and remember, it's all in the lighting.